From Scottish stately homes, to central London shoeboxes, to Essex chic, Britain has a record number of houses valued at more than £1 million.
The house is on the market for an asking price of just under £1.5 million.
This is a basement flat. It's a one-bedroom, and it's $950,000. So it's a bargain.
But who are the country's wealthiest buyers?
This is what I appreciate, luxury.
And what do they demand for their money?
One of the houses I'm looking at has got a sewing room. I mean, I've always wanted a sewing room.
Me and my friends aren't going to have drinks parties, stumbling across this.
Filmed over one of the most unpredictable years the property market's ever known, this documentary reveals what £1 million actually buys across the UK.
You get a lot of natural lights in. The view is not exactly amazing, but it does the job.
And uncovers what happens when 3 very different homes are put up for sale.
It's a dancing pole. That's what the current owners have asked us to describe it as.
But at a time when a castle and a one-bedroom flat are the same price, is Britain's £1 million property market now completely out of control?
And we're at a point now where we have to sell the house. Oh, the mortgage company will sell it, someone's going to sell it. You know?
I can't believe we're talking about me living in a stately home and it's the same price as my flat. It's just craziness. The whole world is bananas.
Every day in Britain, an average of 33 homes sell for more than £1 million. And for those lucky enough to be house hunting with a 7-figure budget, there have never been more ways to spend the money.
This is called Lennox Gardens. Literally just to the right is Harrods. This is a basement flat. It's a one-bedroom, and it's $950,000. So it's a bargain. I think the key to living in this flat is definitely going to be minimalism. You don't want to have too much clutter going on. You simply can't.
The house itself is late Regency in a Tudor style, marble fireplace, original period woodwork.
This house is in complete need of modernisation. And if you'd like to follow me, we'll lead into the kitchen. For a growing family, this is ideal. A real project for any potential buyer to really take on.
Heading through into the kitchen, but then that also leads through into a dining area, which has got a lot of potential for other uses.
You could prepare a meal in here, I think. Just about.
Separate toilets, bathroom.
It's not central London, but it's as close as you can get to central London, perhaps without paying central London prices.
Whilst the average 4-bedroomed house in London now costs in excess of £1 million, on the west coast of Scotland, a similar sum buys you something very different. In Dumfries and Galloway, 19th century baronial mansion Orcherton Hall is up for sale for £1.4 million. Current owner, magazine publisher Susan de Vere, lives in the 52-room house with her husband Alan and their 5-year-old son Byron.
The house has 200 windows, 36 chimneys.
5 acres of gardens.
It has 17 bedrooms.
And a couple of 1,000 tonnes of granite.
12 years ago, Susan moved from a much smaller property in Norfolk to buy Orcherton Hall for £450,000.
I love the look of it. It's like a Disney castle. So I just thought, oh, it's a Disney castle. Oh, live in a Disney castle. So I decided to have it then. When I bought it, I didn't realise how big it was because I didn't really spend as much time maybe as I should have looking at it. I just wanted somewhere near the sea. You've got the beach to yourself. There's nobody for miles. But I think it might be time to turn that off in the next couple of minutes, OK? So can you finish where you are? There's a good boy.
Whilst at first Orcherton was a dream home, over recent years Susan and Alan have suffered poor health and struggled to work. Still heavily mortgaged on the property, they decided it was best to sell up.
The house has been on the market for 4 years on and off, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, well, nearly 5 years on and off, because we've lost We lost 2 years with the referendum. We lost another year when somebody was supposed to be buying it. We've tried various estate agents and we've had it on eBay. We did try eBay just to put it on just to garner a bit of interest. So we've been trying to sell it for a few years now. Now let's go this way. Let's go check this room. I've been here for a long time.
With a mortgage of £620,000 and never-ending maintenance, Susan and Alan's debts are mounting every day they don't sell Orchardton.
There's a little bit there, actually. There's a bit of paint coming off there, which I didn't notice before. You could try gluing it. This is actually just a bit of mould, isn't it, I think? This can also be cleaned off.
Originally on the market for offers over £2 million, Susan and Alan have already dropped the asking price of the house by £600,000.
It would be nice to get it speedily through and a good price. Or simply a good price, I think.
Okay. Well, this light doesn't work, so you could try changing the bulb. That doesn't work either, which makes me think it might not be the bulbs, actually. It could be a fuse gone, in which case we might be snookered, because I have no idea where the fuse is for this area. We're desperate to sell it, but we're not going to take what I would call a silly price just because somebody thinks that we need to sell it. It won't make us do that. You know, we'll just keep fighting till the end, you know. Whenever that comes.
Last year, only 146 homes sold for over £1 million in the whole of Scotland. But it's a very different story in London, where almost 10,000 changed hands. When it was built in 1987, this Islington council house would have been worth around £75,000. It has 4 bedrooms, a fitted kitchen, 1 bathroom, and a spacious rear garden. Owner Kamal Hussain lives here with 8 other members of his family.
It's a 3-tier townhouse. This is where the problem is, because this is where all my 3 boys, 19-year-old stays here, and a 15-year-old here, and an 11-year-old. So you can see it's a very cramped.
Kamal's lived in the house since it was built, and 12 years ago he bought it from Islington Council for £157,000. It's now on the market for £1 million.
It's an amazing feeling when you say to your friends or family or somebody knows that, oh my God, you're a millionaire. It's very, very exciting. I would like to count £50 notes of a millionaire. That would be great.
Can I pop this in the boot, please?
En route to view the house is 28-year-old Stefan Canavan. With London's lettings market booming, he specialises in finding properties that can be transformed into lucrative rental accommodation. Once he's found an opportunity, Stefan seeks out wealthy investors to help him fund the deal.
I love that thrill of the chase. This is the point where you don't know quite what it's going to be when you get in there. I've seen properties where you've had knives sticking out of walls. I've had giant rats. I want to see something that needs work. I very rarely go and see properties that look nice.
For Kamal's 4-bedroomed house to be worth £1 million to Stefan, he needs to find out whether it's possible to convert it into a 6-bed to maximise the rooms that can be let out to high-earning young professionals.
Hi, Stefan. How you doing? Good to meet you. The kitchen, although it's perfectly functionable, it doesn't deliver any wow factor. These are the kind of lights I used to have in my school hallways, so not really what I'd want in my kitchen. Having this much outside space, brilliant. However, I think we can agree it's not really being best utilised. But when you look at the size of it, it's great.
With the average bedroom rented at around £750 per month in central London, a 6-bedroom property could make a landlord £54,000 a year.
This is one of the spaces in the house where we thought we could create a new bedroom. So you've got a very long living area. Could you effectively have a living area for half the room and have half the room as a bedroom? So I need to go away and run the numbers on what the potential rental is, with it being either a 4, 5 or possibly 6 bedroom place. From a lettings perspective, I think the rooms would let in minutes. It's always nice to see something that has an opportunity and there is something in it.
Fueled by the rental boom, £1 million won't stretch far in the competitive London market. But just what can you get for the same money a few miles down the road in the heart of Essex?
The house is kind of a piece of art, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
A joint artwork.
The best part of the house, my stripper pool.
After a record year of growth, nearly 500,000 British properties are now valued at £1 million plus. Amongst them are some of the country's most unique homes.
We're now going to go up the tower, so hold on. And so here we are in the tower bedroom. It's actually very romantic. You've got the canopied ceiling here, little ensuite here as well. So again, this is really a loo with a view.
This is on for £925,000 and is actually on the shortlist for 72 years. We come to the first bedroom. As you can see, it's quite decent size. This way, please, that would be the shower room. Very small, but useful. This is worth £1 million because of the location. It's got a perfect location. You can walk to Mayfair in about 10 minutes. And where else do you want to live?
This is Babushka, originally built in 1890, brought to London around about 20 years ago. The idea is down here to kind of produce something akin to a floating penthouse in terms of finishing, whilst not kind of forsaking that whole nautical kind of romantic idea of living on a boat.
So basically, you get a lot of natural lights in. The view is not exactly amazing, but it does the job. With £40,000 or £50,000 money invested here, I would say you can sell it for 1.2, 1.3 million. Where else can you show me on this planet you can make that sort of money?
The top of the tower, fantastic views, virtually 270 degrees. I think coming up here as well, you can't help get this feeling that you're the captain of a ship. All you need really here is a huge steering wheel and you could really, you know, believe you're on the Titanic or something, I don't know.
Just outside London, in Essex's commuter belt, another highly individual property is on the market for offers over £1 million. Built in 1901 as part of an orphanage, Principal House is a 5-bedroom detached home. It's been extensively and expensively renovated by its current owners, oil company executive Sam Malin and his wife Irene, a former Miss Cameroon.
Principal House. It says it all, doesn't it? And the lion, that reflects me.
The lioness.
Everybody who knows me knows I love my gold. The chandeliers, all the chav. This is Essex, darling. I can say chav, right?
You're not chav, darling. You're too tasteful to be chav.
For 6 years, Sam, Irene and their 4 kids have called Principal House home.
It's so hard letting you go. It's so hard letting you go. You know, when you put so much effort and input, isn't it?
Sam and Irene paid £565,000 for Principal House in 2006. Since then, they've spent another £1.2 million creating their dream home.
So this is the bar, nightclub, everything, of course. The best part of the house. My stripper pool. I never used it, by the way. This is my little way of bringing some naughtiness, whether you use it or not. But I think it stands perfectly, and it says it all about the place, right?
Yeah, well, I always tell my friends it's an exercise feature, but they don't actually believe it. So.
With its lavish decor, Principal House is on the market for offers over £1 million. But so far, it's remained unsold for 18 months.
The house is kind of a piece of art, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
A joint artwork.
Although an artist never sees work as, you know, a perfection, but I'll be a bias here. Yeah, I say perfection. You know, for me, it's perfection.
Although Principal House is still awaiting a buyer, The Malins have already moved into a new home in North Kent. Built in 1833, Ingress Abbey is a 16-bedroom Jacobean-style manor house. Bought for £1.6 million, Sam and Irene have already spent more than £1 million renovating their new home.
My husband said, let's think of somewhere easily manageable. So that's what I call easily manageable. The wallpaper's a leopard. No, not leopard.
No, crocodile.
Crocodile, like my bracelet.
Crocodile wallpaper. Actually, no crocodiles were hurt in producing the wallpaper because it's not really crocodile.
It's not 100% crocodile. This is what I appreciate, luxury. This is what I call life. But I think the whole ceiling should be gold.
I'm going to have to work a lot harder.
Or painted. Do you know what they do? You get one of those Italian artists. You bring him to your house for a year and give him a certain amount of money. The best thing is actually to find a homeless one. Can you find one for me? I'm looking for a homeless Italian artist who would like to come and live with me for 1 year and paint my whole ceiling.
Whilst extravagant interiors may be to some tastes, 8 miles down the road, the man struggling to sell Principal House is estate agent Michael O'Sullivan.
There's a dancing pole. That's what the current owners have asked us to describe it as on the details. So I guess really it is what it says it is on the tin.
With no buyers in sight, it's time for a more proactive approach, and Michael's arranging an open day to relaunch the property.
We put a lot of time and effort into the actual day. It'll be nice to see that hard work pay off, and it'd be nice to see some more footfall come through that door and enjoy this lovely property.
Principal House was originally marketed at £1.5 million, but now Michael's been tasked with getting an offer of just £1 million.
If this was my property, I think the price I'd look to market it at would be $850,000. But what Mr. and Mrs. Maley want to sell it for is obviously their decision.
I think our feeling is that at the current level, which is, office will be accepted over £1 million, we're pitching it about right. We don't need a fire sale, so we need to find someone who really loves the house as it is. So I think we're at about the right level now.
Yeah, I agree.
Many homeowners dream of moving into £1 million house. But for a select few, that's only the beginning.
One of the houses I'm looking at has got a sewing room. I mean, I've always wanted a sewing room. I can't think of anything more that I would want than a sewing room.
Corelia Scott Daniels lives in a 2-bedroom flat in central London, worth around £1 million, but is now looking to add to her portfolio.
This is one of the bedrooms. And then we have another bedroom here, which is slightly bigger. I've got 1,000 square feet here. And I will be hopefully buying about 28,000 square feet in Scotland for the same price.
Corelia is a professional property finder, but now she and her husband Simon are searching for their own dream home in the country, with a budget of £1 million plus.
I spend my whole life looking at amazing properties which are way out of my price range. And you know what? The only way for me to get that kind of property is to go to Scotland. We started out thinking that we wanted to have a castle, but I need a house that's actually going to feel like a home, although it has to look so gorgeous from the outside. The properties are just to die for. I mean, there's a picture on this one, which is just in the winter, and I just thought, gosh, if we have that, then, there's your Christmas card sorted. I love being in Scotland, and when you've been working sort of very hard, 24/7 for days and weeks on end, sometimes I just escape last minute and I always go to Scotland because it's the one place I always really relax.
One of the properties that's piqued Corelia's interest is Orchardton Hall.
I love the fact that this one, I think it looks down onto the water. So I think that will be absolutely lovely. And the interior spaces are also really lovely. I can't believe we're talking about me living in a stately home and it's the same price as my flat. It's just craziness. The whole world is bananas.
Corelia's arranged to go and view Orchardton.
Why don't you just try that and see if it's any different? Oh wow, yeah, that makes...
It's a shame they don't match, but I mean, yeah, that's better.
The property's been on the market for almost 5 years, over which period owners Susan and Alan have dropped the price from 2 to 1.4 million.
We are very, very keen to sell it now because basically it's just getting rid of the mortgage. Once that's gone, then we're not under so much pressure.
Why are you under so much pressure with that at the moment?
Well, mainly because I haven't paid it for a long time.
It's been more than a year since the £620,000 mortgage on Orchardton was paid in full, and Susan and Alan are now more than £40,000 in arrears.
It's just money constantly going out, which is all borrowed money. So basically, we're borrowing, and there's nothing coming in. And then eventually, of course, you run out of places to borrow from. I mean, my husband would be happy to give it away, actually, because he just wants to move on and not have to keep dealing with it. He just feels it is a drain on the lives.
I tend to be the worrier in the family, and she tends to be the dreamer. I do find that quite stressful. And, you know, sometimes that's led to loss of sleep, sometimes it's led to arguments over the place. It's almost got its own gravity. It's not a place that you can just walk away from and forget. It will always be, it's always in your thoughts, no matter where you are. Like most people who get into debt, what you tend to do is you live in denial. You have moments of clarity about how bad it is. You panic. You start worrying. But then the worrying doesn't generate any solutions. You're just enjoying how peaceful it is here. This is absolutely gorgeous. The sea, the coast, I mean, it's beautiful. If only we could bottle that and sell it, we'd be millionaires.
Buyers may be in short supply north of the border, but in London, they're queuing up to spend £1 million on an ex-council house.
At the moment, we've got a great property in Islington that I think we can source for £200,000 below market value. This is why everyone ultimately wants to work in property, because you want one of these. I would love a Lamborghini one day.
Estate agents are valuing a greater number of British homes at £1 million than ever before, and there are currently more than 12,000 on the market. But what does it take to actually sell a house for that kind of money?
Well, obviously you've got this fantastic main reception hall. You come in and they've got these beautiful high vaulted ceilings. There's not many places where you can fit a full-size snooker table, a grand piano and 5 sofas, and it still feels like there's lots and lots of space. Just have to mind your head coming through. Lovely big high vaulted ceilings. And again, stunning mullioned windows, so you know you're in a chapel, but it does still feel really homely. So again, this fantastic archway into the ensuite bathroom. I don't think you'll see many bathrooms like this, again with the stone arch, mullioned archways, and this freestanding bath. It's just great fun.
This is one of the most quintessential English addresses in the heart of London. Please come through. Quality is at the heart of any large investment in London. We must have good quality fit out. Granite tops, underfloor heating as standard, good work surfaces. You can see the bedroom is done to it's a luxurious environment. It's warm, it's encompassing, it's encasing. Like you could just cuddle up on this bed under a warm blanket and watch some TV and never leave the room and even not forget the world for days on end.
This is kind of the showpiece of the house, so I can imagine if you were hosting a party here, I can see people milling around here, maybe a glass of champagne in their hand. So that's the bedroom here. One of the features I love the most about this room, it's got its own balcony. can imagine this on a summer's morning, cup of tea.
The building is built with a huge amount of attention to detail, which makes the building both warm. It also makes the building incredibly quiet. So even though you're in the heart of London, it's like a little womb, it's perfectly quiet. It's almost a monastery.
The average home in parts of London sells in under a month, and even £1 million council house is hot property. Having seen the opportunity to snap up an ex-local authority home and let it out to young professionals, developer Stefan Canavan now needs to find an investor to share the purchase costs of £1 million.
Always feel the pressure. I think people who say they don't feel pressure, I'm not certain if they're always telling the truth. I think feeling a bit of pressure is a good thing. Thank you.
Stefan's going to pitch his business plan to a room full of property experts.
There's a great room of investors here tonight, so if you're going to be in any room, this is the room to be in. So tonight, do or die, I suppose, for the Islington property.
So what is the Property Investors Network? Basically, it's a support environment. We want you to be successful in your investing journey.
In a crowded London market, Stefan's not the only developer pitching their big idea.
Basically, it's 20 seconds for who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for.
I'm a full-time investor and developer based in West London in Ealing.
I'm actually offering a unique opportunity to 4 people here this evening.
It's very difficult to take a deal the whole way through finding it to completing it. For every me, there's another 100 of me throughout London trying to do the same thing, so then it's very competitive.
Stefan will have just 20 seconds to make his case for the £1 million ex-council house.
Good evening, my name's Stefan Canavan. I run a company that specialises in sourcing and developing projects for investors such as yourself to maximise your profit. At the moment, we've got a great property in Islington that I think we can source for $200,000 below market value. The opportunity is to turn it from a 4-bed to a 6-bed multi-let. Great capital growth and net rental yield of 10%, which in London is fantastic. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm a bit long.
So we've got a short networking break, about 10 minutes, and then we need you back in your chairs to find out how to make 2015 your best year yet. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Interested in this, the deal you mentioned in Angel?
Yes.
Can you tell me some of the details about it?
Without extending it at all, you can turn it into a 6-bed quite easy by putting up some partition walls. I've got an Excel spreadsheet with all the numbers that I've ran personally for it that I'm happy to share with you, and then we could look at how we take it forward from there. We've got a bit of a buzz about it. 2 or 3 people came up and spoke to us, so we'll catch up with them. I've got all of their details, and we'll make some calls tomorrow. This is why everyone ultimately wants to work in property, because you want one of these. It's a great motivator every time you go past the Lamborghini garage and go, one day, if I keep going, and that's why you keep challenging yourselves, because different things drive different people, but I would love a Lamborghini one day.
Despite his successful pitch, the investors went cold on Stefan, leaving the dream of a supercar on hold, and the £1 million ex-council house still in need of a buyer. After almost 5 years on the market, Orchardton Hall is also still awaiting a new owner. With debts of more than £40,000, Susan and Alan DeVere are preparing for a viewing they hope will bring an end to their financial troubles.
There is a lot riding on it. We're at a point now where we have to sell the house. Oh, the mortgage company will sell it. Someone's going to sell it. You know?
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Londoners Corelia and Simon Scott Daniels are searching for a second home in the country. With a budget of £1 million plus, they're on their way to view Orchardton.
Whilst we've got a flat in central London, having a property in Scotland as well just makes for a fantastic life, because you have the best of both worlds. I'm really excited to see this one. I hope it lives up to its billing.
At the other end of the country, Principal House is about to host an open day. Renovated with luxury in mind and with a budget of £1.2 million, it's been empty since its owners moved on to a new home. Now, to give prospective buyers a taste of its former glory, Sam Malin is taking some of the original furniture back.
Memo for Porsche. Bigger boot next time round, please.
As the creators of Principal House, Sam and Irene will also be showing people around.
I'm excited to see what people have to say, but don't let me hear them. All right, don't let me hear them.
In case they say something bad.
In case they say something bad, I'll be like, what?
In charge of arranging Principal House's open day is estate agent Michael O'Sullivan.
Hello. Good morning, Sam. It's Michael from Tutor Rose. I just thought I'd give you a call regarding the open day, just to catch up on things and just to make sure that we're going to make it as successful as possible.
Whilst Michael's hopeful of a healthy turnout, the £1 million asking price is still a concern.
I think the most difficult part is the seller actually realising that perhaps they might have over-egged it a little bit. I mean, after all, everybody's property is their own domain. It's their own little castle, isn't it? It's their own little slice of England. So whatever happens on the open day, I think will dictate certainly what he should be looking to accept and certainly what we will be advising him.
So we'll just, darling,
Yeah,
you disappeared on me for a while. Where do you want these chairs?
I'm thinking there.
How about your book of Feng Shui?
Yeah, that's theirs.
All
See?
right.
With the preparations complete, it's just a question of waiting for the first viewers to arrive.
Oh wow, look. It's very imposing, isn't it? It's phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh wow, so just that's so picture perfect, isn't it?
It is.
In Scotland, Corelia and Simon have arrived at Orchardton Hall for their viewing.
What do you think?
Well, the views are good, aren't they? It's just...
And I don't think this is the best view either.
No, this is
It's beautiful.
Oh, the bell's ringing, darling.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Why don't you come in? Oh, Susan.
And this is...
Oh,
Who's
of course,
this?
and this is Freya the Wonder Dog.
Freya the Wonder Dog.
You're looking for a large house. Do you know how large?
We would really ideally like to have a minimum of 7 good bedrooms with big bathrooms.
Okay.
If we can make that work.
In here was the original dining room, but we've kind of used it as a music room, come art room for the kids and stuff.
Oh, right.
Lovely. It's so nice and light, isn't it?
Oh, the lighting's beautiful. We need to cut down the bay bush a bit because it's kind of taking away the view a bit.
Yeah. Where does your land end? Is it?
It ends at that tree line over there.
That tree line.
And there's a gate at the side so that you can walk across to the. There's a beach just through those trees at the back. Oh, we can see it.
Because on that views.
That's a lovely view, isn't it?
Yeah. We've actually got about 15 bedrooms set up as bedrooms, I think. There are about 40 rooms altogether.
Right.
This area we are just in the middle of redecorating. So we've just started doing the ceiling.
Right.
And, it's got a nice little turrety bit I quite like.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to clear that. It's an oil patch.
Is it?
You can't get rid of it. Yeah, there's another one over there. This room was actually recently decorated, but we didn't get around to putting the carpet back down. This is currently the art room.
It could be a lovely family house. It does need a huge amount of money spent on it. It's certainly not refurbished from at all, as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of damp. There's some damp up there. It needs to be completely rewired. So you need to spend a good $1 million on it, I think.
It's interesting.
Maybe 2 million. So I personally wouldn't buy it, no. Well, thank you very much. Nice. Best wishes for your sale. Good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I probably shouldn't have bought it in the first place. I just think that was the wrong way to go. I bought that because I wanted to buy it, not because it was going to advance me in anything I really wanted to do. I do feel a sense of urgency. I think we've probably got 4 to 6 weeks to sort it out. It's not very long, it goes very quickly. I would think repossession would be the worst case. that was a selfish buy. So anything that happens because of that, then, you know, that's karma, really, justice.
Principal House in Essex is about to receive the first visitors to its open day. Chris and Yulia currently live in central London, but are searching for a family home.
She's from Toronto, I'm from London. We are sort of developing our future together, and we want to make a decision as to where we're going to live and what kind of property we're going to live in.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
We're here to look at the property.
All right, oh, that's great. Well, I'm Sam, so...
How are you?
Hi,
Nice to meet you. Welcome. Okay, so I don't really show the house, so my husband's always in charge.
I'll give you
So
the
you
official,
have him for the whole day.
tour.
Please.
How much does it cost you to strip this whole place and rebuild it effectively, the interior?
Well, I'll answer the question, but first I'll say an embarrassing amount of money. I mean, we've spent more on the house than we've got it on the market for, which commercially may not be the smartest thing, but you know, we wanted to have a house that we really enjoyed living in, and so it's overcapitalized. Underfloor heating throughout here. So, let's do the upstairs. This is the master bedroom.
This is your closet.
Absolutely, and let me show you something else. This is the basement. We'll start here at the sort of what we call the nightclub end, which has the bar.
Is this what it appears to be?
It's exactly what it appears to be.
Really?
Yes, it is.
The stripper pool, you don't have to use it. It was just a
I like
way.
the way she says stripper pool, by the way.
It was just a way to have. It kind of decorates the room in a way, you know.
There you go. Hot tub's not feeling very hot at the moment because I had it off for a while, but
That is very nice.
yeah.
You can bring bikini girls. Oh.
And this door's locked. I don't find the key to that. All right. Well, Julia, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Chris,
very
yeah, good to meet you.
Nice
Yeah.
meeting you. Take care.
Bottom line, I think they liked the house they liked the house, they liked the space.
I'm not 100% confident it's what we're looking for.
They were impressed with downstairs, though.
They were impressed with downstairs.
It's a different world, totally different world.
I'm not sure if the basement is exactly to our liking, to be honest.
Absolutely not.
I think it's a little bit too shiny.
Playboy. I think that's a direction we're moving away from.
Yes.
Talking about my taste in over-the-top thing, I think people are attracted to it. You know, maybe I'm inspiring a new world.
You can clearly see they've spent a lot of money on the property, but I'm not sure it's added value for buyers like us. I think we could get more for our money that we're looking for.
With just one viewing across the entirety of Open Day, the events failed to attract a buyer to Principal House. Back home, Sam and Irene need to decide whether it really is a £1 million property.
Do you think there will come a time where you have to lower the price?
No way. It's not a piece of bread. It's not a loaf of bread you go around the corner and just buy. You know, the house market goes up and down anyway, and I think there will be a time where that house will go even higher up.
I agree with what Irene's saying. We're prepared to wait until we get a buyer that appreciates the house for what it is and that's prepared to pay at the current pricing level.
There's always somebody. There's always somebody.
In an affluent suburb of southwest London, one property is under offer. For the past 27 years, this 5-bedroom detached house has been home to interior designer Victoria Chitty.
We bought it for 362 and now we're selling it for 4.4, so it's not bad.
What are these?
Books to sell, all books to sell. I'm moving house because I'm getting a divorce, so we both have to downsize. It's really healthy to get rid of all this, what I call stuff.
Keen to stay close to family and friends, Vicky's focused her hunt for a new home around her current address.
Well, I looked at properties around the 1.2. You can get a most adorable little cottage in Barnes, but it's not going to be much wider than your car. Having gone round to about 10 different properties, I just could not picture myself at any one of them. I was really shocked at how little you can get for 1.1 on land.
A 10-minute drive from Vicky's old house is the River Thames and the property she's agreed to buy. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom converted barge.
So come on in. Look at that space. How many can we see? We can see 40. Apparently they've had dinner parties seated for 40, and that is what I love.
As it's difficult to get a mortgage on a houseboat, Vicky is a £1.1 million cash buyer.
What's extraordinary is my bedroom in the other house is almost exactly this length, so I can have my bed, my bedside table's lights. I'm really pleased with that. If you come into the bathroom, that's not a bad bath for the time being. And look, character. How often do you get a curved wall with 2 porthole windows in it? No, you tell me. I don't know where else you get it on land. Maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think this has it's a hoot. Come on.
For the 3,000 square feet and view of the Thames that Vicky's getting on the boat, she'd end up paying around £3 million if the property wasn't on the river.
This is incomparable. Incomparable. Honestly, where would I get something like this anywhere on land? I just wouldn't.
Susan and Alan have come up with a last-gasp plan to sell Orchardton.
Obviously, we wouldn't get as much in an auction, but we are desperate to sell it. We want to move on, and the quicker we do that, the better. Hello, come in. Hi, sorry, is the bell not working?
Auctioneer Sean Vigers has come to assess the property. With Orchardton currently up for sale at £1.4 million, he also needs to decide whether that's the correct figure for the auction reserve.
Mature gardens.
Yep. There's also obviously broadband and whatever. Sky. Right, this is a little area we've never used. We did have a problem here a couple of years ago, but that just wipes off.
Right. It is a renovation project, but even taking that into account, there are some basic things they could do just to make it look a little bit more presentable. The first challenge, obviously, is to make the property completely wind and watertight. There is some evidence of water penetration and general dampness on the top floor. What do you need, if you can give me a broad brush figure, what do you need to get out?
Well, we're looking for 1.2, really.
Right. We probably need to be setting the reserve nearer what you need to get out from underneath the bank. I know that's not great news. That might be the catalyst to get people through the door.
With all other options exhausted, Susan and Alan decide to put Orchardton Hall into an auction later this spring, with a reserve price of £1.2 million.
It would be nice to be free of debt, I mean, let's face it, and just go on to the new adventure, really. Everything's an adventure, so. I would love someone to buy it that was going to do something good with it. I mean, I've tried to do something good with it, and pretty much have failed on every level I've tried. I'd like the house to be happy. You know, the house is happy when it's doing something.
This house it's over 150 years old. In 150 years' time, it will still be here, and it will continue on long after we're dead.
Unless we burn it down.
You're still wonderful.
I'm quite pleased. Once all this done, then I'll be even more pleased, and then I can retire, hopefully.
Getting reverential about church conversions, George Clark returns as the Restoration Man. That's next Wednesday night at 8. Next tonight, it's all-out war between the two factions, and there's a genuine sting in the tail in The Island with Bear Grylls.